Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Minipla Zenkai Gattai Series 02 ZenkaiOh VrooMagine set. Now as you can see, mine got here a little worse for wear. Unfortunately I had some shipping issues getting this one over to me, but I'm hoping the contents inside are still okay. But I wanted to at least show off the packaging for you like I usually do. So it comes in this nice box. Pretty nice artwork here on the top and the side. Over here you have the vehicle / dragon modes. And then over here on the back it shows the robot and alt mode, and then it shows how you can combine them with the two from the first set, so you can mix and match those. I probably won't show that off. I feel like you guys can figure that part out at this point. You just unpeg and unpeg in the other ones, but not too much going on there on the side or the bottom. If we go ahead and open these up, we'll take a look at, I think this first box survived the most intact, but here you can see the front of the box. And then it shows the first two boxes make room, second two boxes make Magine, and then it looks like the first set we have the fifth box being some kind of accessory pack that gives you some add-ons and things like that to kind of, you know, make them stand a little bit more even. Otherwise, not too much going on. So I'm going to go ahead, get these all built up, and then we're going to take a closer look. Alright, so we have Vroom and Magine fully assembled and stickered up. I kind of have her wings positioned strangely because it's the way she stands. Her wings actually kind of are a little too long. If you put them straight down, she doesn't necessarily like actually stand on her feet. So you kind of have to swing one back a little bit. But they do come with stands that you can peg into the back that help them stand up, which is nice. This one you can see is actually kind of floating in the air, so he's actually standing on his own, but it's just kind of like an extra, you know, ankle joint. If I move this, that should kind of have him actually rest on that. There you go. They're not perfect, but they tried. They tried to give you a little bit, because these guys don't have real feet, and that's kind of a bummer for me. I was really hoping Minipla would step in and give these guys great articulation, and they just kind of didn't. And I don't know if it's because they kind of tried and just deemed it wasn't going to work with how the way they transform. I'm not 100% sure. But Minipla is usually great at, you know, when the DX is very blocky, they come in and give you all the joints and everything you really want. I look forward to that. Now, we do have the Change series and the Udo series if you just want nicely articulated versions of these characters. So there is that. Those do not merge, obviously, but these ones will merge. But they're definitely very blocky. We'll start over here. I'm going to take this out just for the time being and put it off to the side. It's not bad. I mean, the head can swivel from side to side. You do have a swivel here. You do have an elbow joint, and you even have kind of a little wrist joint. The hands don't move much, but they can move up a little bit there. You have a waist swivel. Now you kind of have a joint here in his crotch, which I believe is for the elbow when we transform. And then you have like this swivel down here, and it's weird. This connects very tightly. It's not going to fall out or anything, but it does wiggle a lot, which I don't love. And then he's got this joint in here, which is, I guess, again, for the robot mode. But there's a hinge here, and a swivel here, and a swivel here, and I almost can't ever get it to actually swivel at this joint. Not that I need it to, but you do have just more, I guess that's going to be his bicep swivel in robot mode, and you can see the fist is hidden in there. So, it's okay. He's got a decent amount of articulation, but he's still very blocky. I mean, he only has like a giant stump. He doesn't really have legs or anything like that. Stickers aren't too bad. The head was crazy. A lot of stickers on the head, but it came out pretty good. And then you have two stickers here, two stickers on each, or one sticker on each shoulder, I should say. You have a sticker down here on the kneecaps. So I would say the head was probably the bulk of the stickers for him. We'll see if he wants to stand. There we go. Majine's not bad. Again, stickers on the head, but they were a little bit easier to apply. The chest has a sticker, little sticker here for the waist. And then you have some stickers down here for the dragon head. So really not too bad. Now as far as articulation goes, she's got the stand here again. I'm going to go ahead and take this off, put that off to the side. You have head swivel, side to side. You have kind of a shoulder swivel there. You can move the wings around if you want. You can even move these around if you want. You have 90-degree bend in the elbow. This piece here is kind of that like front skirt piece, but if you lift that up, you do have a swivel down here, which is what I believe is meant to be her waist down here. She can hold her wand pretty well, as you can see. And then, whoops, okay, arm just came. This might be easier, actually. So this can spin here. You have a, like, hinge, I guess, or a swivel here. I guess that's supposed to be, like, to move her legs forward. You have a hinge here. You have a swivel here, and it's kind of that same joint that Vroom had, where there's a swivel, a hinge, and a swivel. And as, well, actually, these kind of both move. This one moves decently. The hinge works, and then you can move that as well. And then you have, here's the fist hidden in there. You can move this around. So I guess that's kind of like ankle movement. I don't know. Let me pop this back on. It just pegs on, so pretty simple there. But yeah, she looks okay. I would say probably from like the waist up looks better than the waist down. I think these legs are particularly, like at least his are blocky, but they're wide and kind of fit his frame. This just gets very small because it has to be the head of the dragon. I think it's just kind of the designs they gave him to work with. There wasn't much they could do, but... And then you have these pieces that just hang off the back for both of these guys. Whoops, as I knock them over. That's going to be the chest, like, crest. I don't know what you'd call it for the combined robot mode. But yeah, so articulation is kind of there, but not great. Similar to the DX ones. But like I said, if you want good articulated versions of these characters in these modes, definitely check out the Change Hero series, or even the Yudo. I haven't gotten to the Yudo yet, but I will be soon, hopefully, and then I'll be comparing them to Change series when I get to that. But, you know, these are blocky versions, but they do transform. The Change Hero and the Yudo don't transform, so let's go ahead and check out their alt modes. Alright, so we're going to start with Vroom. We're going to go ahead and take his little hammer out of his hand, and it's a pretty decent little hammer accessory, and it just pegs into his hand very simply. We'll go ahead now. They tell you you should be able to swivel the arms all the way around. I find it easier just to take them off and then make sure that they are straightened out. So we're going to just go ahead and push the head down into the chest like so. We're going to take the body, flip it around like this, and then this just bends down like this. And that kind of forms the dump truck. I guess this is supposed to look like a steam stack or something, or at least that's what I like to pretend it's supposed to be. Now the way they had this was like this. And they tell you that you're supposed to be able to, sorry, it was actually like this. And they tell you you're supposed to be able to, I guess actually you can. It's when you have the legs on there, it's a little bit more difficult. But you can actually, because like the wheel, especially on this side, the wheel hits this piece. So on that one, you can kind of spin around. I just kind of like to take it off and peg it back on, and then you can rotate it up. And they do have a little spot. There's a peg right here on the side that will fit into this little groove here, and that's kind of how it knows to stop so that it won't go any farther past that, which is nice. And then you can take this piece and peg it in here on the top. Now, I'll be honest, I kind of wish this sat back a little bit farther, but it pegs in here and it extends pretty far out. That looks a little weird to me because in this mode it's supposed to be like, you know, floodlights, so I feel like it should sit back a little bit, but it is what it is. So here is the dump truck mode. It's okay. It's okay. It rolls well, which is nice. It definitely rolls very well. But I feel like this just kind of floats here. There's a lot of empty space. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But there's a little dump truck mode. Next up, we have Majine's transformation. I actually like hers a lot. I think it works really well. You're going to just go ahead and unpeg these wing pieces. And then take the wand out of her hand if you have it pegged in there. And again, just pegs in very simply like that. So for this, you're going to spin the head around 180. And then push that back into the chest, same as Vroom. Then you're going to bring this around and bend this. Hold on. Do I have these on backwards? No, I don't. I might actually. Yeah, I think I do. I actually have these on backwards, so I apologize for that. These are supposed to peg on like this. So I do apologize. They should be like this, because now you can kind of see how like the crest is supposed to be one piece. So apologies for that. They were on backwards. But now you can spin this around and then bend the arms. I knew something was up because you don't have to take the arms off to transform. So there you go. That bends like that. This will pop down here like so. This will swivel around at the angle like that, and then you just kind of put the head down and then kind of push everything down until it matches and meets up. And then we bring the wings back in and peg them on like so. And then you just peg the tail in here on the back. And the tail does have articulation, which is actually pretty cool. This is one solid piece, but there is a hinge on the end of it. Otherwise, you can move the legs if you like, because they're just kind of pegged on so they can swivel. And then the head, you can kind of like bring it up if you want, but because of the way it's connected, it looks a little weird. You can try to move it just here. They don't really click together. I wish they kind of did, and there is some empty space there, but, you know, they're doing the best they can. I've always thought Majine's transformation is the most successful, and you can kind of do what you want with that. But I don't know. I just think the dragon is one of the more, how do I want to put this? I'll just say successful alt modes. It actually looks like what it's supposed to do. The transformation's pretty good. Definitely one of the better beast ones. So yeah, I think that works pretty well. I like her little dragon mode. Alright, combination time. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much, not completely disassemble, but we're going to take this piece off. We're going to disconnect the arms. We're going to take this piece off. And then we're going to kind of let this hang off to the side for a moment. Just kind of bend this back on the hinge. And then we're going to open this up and stretch this completely, as you might expect, if you're familiar with these transformations at all. So at this point, actually we'll just do this now, why not? So we're going to disconnect this whole piece, well, not this whole piece. This piece here, you can see it just pegs into these two pegs right there. And then what you're going to do is rotate these. I guess you can leave them down. And then you can do whatever you want with the arm. Technically, they're supposed to be like this. But they give you the ability to kind of move this around like this if you want to give him elbow joints and the bicep swivel. So this one, I feel like it's a little bit more plausible to do it like this, because with Jodagawon, they had the gigantic animal feet. He doesn't have that. But what you do with this piece, you can see there's a little peg here on the front, and there's a little peg right here. So you're just going to bring this in, and it just pegs on there. And that's just a way to connect it to the shoulder. And then there you go. So now you have a shoulder pad that is disconnected from the arm, so that way you can get use of that, bicep swivel, elbow joint, and you can even move the wrist. The wrist can come up, and it can also spin. So that's really nice. I think that's really cool. And so that is going to be our one side for now. We're going to come over here to Majine. We're going to take the wings off. We're going to take the tail off. We're going to take this piece off the back, and then you're going to stretch this out again. You're going to take this piece and rotate it again, like you're going back into robot mode, and then the arm's just going to kind of hang down here. And then this piece flips in and folds in like this. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't really stay against very well, but I guess it's the best they could do. You're going to spin these around like so, and there is your other side. So then you have to come in here, and this is actually pretty cool. There's a little piece in here that you need to flip out, and that's got the connection piece there, as you can see. Plus you have a peg here, and then you're going to peg them into these three holes over here. Now you kind of have to make sure this is out to the side, because there is a decent amount of kibble on the inside. So if they're straight down, it won't actually work because you'll run out of space. But you can go ahead and connect that all together like so. Make sure that that's nice and connected. So you can see the majority of the robot is in place here. Now you do have this swivel. Every time I try to move the arm, that swivel piece moves, just because this is kind of a tight connection. But you have a swivel here. You have this can swivel like this. And then again, you do have those same joints. So if you want to give him the bicep swivel, the elbow joint, you can. If you want to leave him straight forward, you can. It's really up to you. But you do have some options there. I'm going to do this. Now you can kind of bring the hand out here, and then you can turn it if you want to do something like that, which is what we'll do for now. So obviously we have some pieces left over here. We're going to make sure these are straight, make sure the hands are all the way down. And I believe you want to use this connection here. I'm not 100% sure because you do have a lot of options. This obviously was for the shoulder, but then you have all three of these. I guess you could use whichever one you like better as far as how much you want this to stick out, you know, going forward. I'm just going to use that one in the middle. So we'll pop that on there. And they don't really need those on the side to stand. I think the DX one does. This is just because that's the design they went with, but it can stand without them. So if you don't like the kibble look, put those off to the side somewhere. You don't have to use them. You have these pieces here, which are going to peg in these little pegs right here in the center. And that gives us our little crests on the front. So pop them together and then come around to the back. We're going to take these, we're going to fold them like this, and then we're going to peg this on. Now they say you can peg it into the shoulder if you want, or into the back of the body, whatever you like better. If you like this look here more on the shoulder, you can do that. It makes the wings look a little bigger, but then they're going to move when you move the arms. Personally, I like to put them on the inside of the body. That way they're not tied to the arms, so you can move the arms around and not have to worry about them moving. And then you just kind of want to find, you know, a way that they'll both go. So then you got your wings on the back, and then we have the weapons. You can do with them what you like. So I think this one fits a little bit better over here, just my opinion, because you have more in the way. Now if you keep them straight up like this, it would fit fine, but if you're going for that elbow look, I'm going to mix their weapons so that they can all fit here. And again, try to move this without moving all that other stuff around. Then, of course, we're going to flip these two sections open on the top. And then we do have our head that they gave us, which is a separate piece on a ball joint. And this one had a ton of stickers as well. You had to put stickers around this little cone. Then you have these bands that go around the outside. Just kind of a pain in the butt, but the finished product looks good. And then we're going to go ahead and pop this right in here. There's a little peg hole, and pop the ball joint in there. And then boom, there you go. ZenkaiOh VrooMagine is done and ready to go. And it's not bad. Like I said, you have the shoulder movement here. You have the hinge out to the side. And a lot of these joints are tight, but they'll get more fluid the more you move them. You have the bicep swivel. You have the elbow joint. Then you have the swivel down here, which is pretty hard to move. You have that hinge here. You have the rotation at the wrist. Nothing in the torso as it stands so far. You can swing the legs out to the side. You do have a knee joint. Do we have a thigh swivel? Well, you have a swivel right below the knee. And then the legs are pretty solid. So not bad, but this is Minipla. They are taking care of us a little bit. There is a fifth extra box. I should say this is completely buildable as is with the first 4 boxes. But there is a 5th box which gives us some extra goodies. So you might be asking yourself, what is this random pile of stuff? Well, you get some extra hands. Kind of a cool, like, open-handed, you know, display pose hands here. Now, obviously, they won't be able to hold accessories if they use these, but I think they do look pretty cool. Then we get some extra stuff to get some more articulation. So what we have to do is kind of wiggle this so that the top section comes off, like so. Then you have this piece. And you might be saying, why is there a red sticker on here? Well, it's actually kind of cool. So they multi-purpose this because they want to give you the option to mix and match the halves. They actually give you additional heads as well for all the different combinations. Here is Juran and Majin. And then here is Gaon and Vroom. So depending on what combinations you want to make, they have you covered as far as head goes. That's pretty cool. And then they give you this piece. So if I put this on like this... Hold on, how do I do this? Yeah, this goes like this. This would be for this because we have the black half and the blue half. But if I switch it like this, now it's for if I want to do Jura Majin. So you could use this for both. They also give you a blue sticker to go back and put on this piece from the first set. Because the first set has yellow for Gaon and red for Majin. They give you a blue piece so that the yellow, I think it's actually cast out of yellow. The yellow for... If you turn it around, you could have the yellow for Gaon and the blue for Vroom. So you can make all those different combinations. But I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here like so. So I do like that they give you those options. They wanted to make sure you were covered depending on, you know, which half swaps you wanted to do. Then if we put this back on here, now he's got waist articulation. That's cool. As far as these things go, you can see how far that they stick out from the body. You can actually take these off. And you can do this with either, because this is how these come in the first 4 boxes. But you can actually unpeg this section. I don't even know why they even really give you the option. I mean, I guess just because that's how the DX looks, because I think the DX is pretty extended as far as these pieces go. If I can actually take this off. Come on. There we go. Oh, and these are both stickers, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the silver pieces are stickers. They actually look really good. You can kind of push them in there and get them to form fit, and they actually look really nice. So once you have these slimmed out, now you can put these... Ooh, okay. All right. He wants to pop off there. Go ahead and hold it this time, and we'll pop these back on. And you can see now they're just a little bit tighter to the body. I think it looks better. Now, it is going to hinder this boxy shoulders articulation a little bit. So that is something to consider. So if you have a pose that you like and you like this look better, you can absolutely do that. I don't know why that won't stay on there, but it doesn't seem to want to connect that much. But you do get that waist articulation, which is nice. This articulation over here is not too bad. Like I said, it's just... for whatever reason, these joints are very tight. And I think it's just because, you know, it's newly put together. Over time, hopefully that should loosen up a little bit. I don't know why this connection is not really staying connected. I mean, it pegs in fine, but then if you touch it at all, it wants to jump off. Not really sure why it does that, but there you go. That's a little bit better. So you might be asking yourself what these pieces are, and that's fair. These are like new feet pieces. So with the other one, we got really nice, clean, like actual robot looking feet pieces, and I wish they had just gone ahead and done that here. But I guess that's not what the suit looks like on the show, so they're going for authenticity. Now, this is probably going to be difficult because I find it difficult to get these pieces off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these off. And I'm probably just going to take this off as well because that's going to get in the way. So this piece has to come off, this whole chest plate here, which it's really pegged in pretty snugly, and you'll probably pop this off while you're trying to do it. But you can get this off of here. I promise it is possible without breaking it. It's just really, really snug. Come on, you. So there we go. Then you have this piece here. So what you're going to do is this right here is going to peg in here. And you kind of have to get these out of the way, because how this works is so you peg this in. There we go. Then you kind of have to like slide this over that peg hole, because it's an empty space in there, but that peg kind of keeps it in place. So you can get your ankle tilt now, but it kind of is a limited ankle tilt because those pieces are in the way. So now that we have that done, we can put this back on, which should peg in there. So now you have an ankle tilt there. If I come over here, this piece comes off a lot easier, which is nice. Come on, you. And then you're going to go ahead and pop this on instead. And then that gives you, that ankle tilt's actually already built in, but they're just kind of like bigger feet pieces. Now again, I wish that they were just regular, good-looking, normal robot feet pieces like we got with Gura Jaon. Gura Jaon? No, Jura Gaon. There we go. Wow, I mixed that up. So anyway, I wish they were kind of more pronounced robot pieces, but these are okay. Now they say if you want, you can take the arm pieces off of this and go ahead and peg them onto here just to kind of complete the illusion. It's up to you. I mean, to me, I don't need them. They just get in the way. But if you want to put them back on to kind of fully complete it, you can. If you want to leave it off because you think it looks a little less cluttered, you can certainly do so. But you're supposed to peg these back on here. And then this thing's still there. Again, now kind of floating in space, not doing anything, but there you go. So once all these pieces are off to the side, you do get this really nice stand as well. It says Super Sentai Series. And then they give you a couple different sticker options. So obviously I've gone with VrooMagine. They give you one for VrooGaon or JuraMagine. They give you a couple options. So depending on which one you want to put on there. I think they even give you one that just says like Zenkaiger. So yeah, so you have a couple options there. The little Minipla sticker there is on a separate piece that pegs in, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, I just went with VrooMagine because that's the one I like. Now, it doesn't peg in any way, shape, or form. He just sits on there. Um, but yeah, it's neat. I think it works. Let me peg that in a little bit more. I wish he had more pronounced feet, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. He's got a lot of kibble there. But like I said, if you really wanted, you could just completely take these off. If you don't like that look and you just want him to have regular legs, I mean, he'll stand. You don't need him for stability, which is nice. And then let me try to move this arm a little bit without moving that swivel piece. So yeah, it's really up to you. You have a little bit of customization options. You can play with the wings a little bit. I might even have the wings on upside down. I kind of like them swooped up like that, but I think I actually might have them on upside down. So let's play with that. Let's go ahead and put this one over here and this one over here. Yeah, I believe that's right. But I got to tell you, I kind of like the swoop up look. I do kind of like it the other way. But again, you have options. I mean, that's the thing. You can play with it a little bit. If you like the wings backwards the way I just had them, you can do that. If you want to put the extra pieces on the legs, if you want to, you know, not even use these augmented feet pieces. So there's a lot of options, and I think that's pretty cool. That's one thing about Minipla I really like. They give you sticker options, they give you, you know, display options, they give you interchanging pieces, so you can really customize it to a pretty significant degree. And I think when you're done, you know, this is a pretty cool looking model kit here. It's a weird, wonky form. I will admit that it is. I definitely think Juragaon is a little bit more successful. It's a little more symmetrical, which I like. You know, some people might love the dissymmetry, and that's okay. Because you definitely have options, and like I said, I'm not going to show it off here, but you can just pop these apart, switch it with the other two. You have head options for all the different combinations, which is really cool. So they went out of their way to really hook you up. And the head options are in the first 4 boxes. They are not in the bonus parts. So again, if you just want to buy the first 4 boxes, you totally can. Everything in the 5th box, I wouldn't say it's necessary. I mean, it's really just the stand, the extra hands, and the extra feet. That's really it. There's not a ton in there that you need. I would say the first 4 boxes are key. But yeah, it's a cool looking form. It's growing on me, but like I said, I definitely think the other one is a little bit more successful in my opinion. But with the accent pieces and everything, I think it comes out pretty good. So at the end of the day, I really recommend this. You know, if you're looking for a cheap alternative to the DX, I think this one is at least as good as the DX. Now, obviously, there's no sound effects. You know, the DX one has sounds when you combine them. It plays jingles and whatnot, which is a lot of fun. But if you're looking for a cheaper alternative, I think this whole set was like $15 or $18 on HLJ, which you can't beat. I mean, for $5 as a Minipla, around $20. It was a fun build, not too bad with the stickers. I would say the worst stickering experience I had on this whole thing was probably the combination heads because of the like cones, trying to put stickers on those cones, and then the wraparound bands was pretty difficult. But that was the worst part. Everything else was pretty good. Vroom's individual head was a little difficult. Well, I should say it had a lot of stickers, but it wasn't terribly difficult because the surfaces were pretty flat and you know, everything stuck pretty well. I will say the stickers are, you know, knock on wood, they're great. They usually hold up, and I don't have too much problem once they're applied. But sometimes they want you to put them on very tiny or, you know, circular surfaces, and it's kind of difficult. But this is a fun set. I do think the first one's a little bit more successful, but I think that's really just because I think I like that form better. It's not really the Minipla's fault. It's just my preference as far as these Mecha go. But this is a fun build. I definitely recommend. Like I said, you can't beat the price. I think it's definitely a viable alternative to the DX. And you get a lot more articulation. It's still not perfect as far as articulation. I really wish the smaller forms had more. But I can understand at least they take care of the articulation when it comes to the combined robot. And if you're going to display it as the combined robot, that's really where you want the articulation to be. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But for me, I definitely recommend picking it up. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.